Hello and welcome back to How to Build Software Without Coding. I'm Mr. Hackathon and I show you how to build software without coding. And in this walkthrough, I am going to show you how to build web applications without coding using AI to generate them. All you're going to have to do is type what you want and the AI will generate the web application for you. Here's a very, very simple one for me that actually integrates with OpenAI, or what many people might know as ChatGPT. So what we have here is a LLM use case generator. All we have to do is type the company name or put the company description, and put the role of the person, hit generate, and you can see it generates ideas, and we can generate more ideas. So we're going to make something super simple like this just now. What we're going to do is create a new project. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but we're using a tool called create.xyz. Is For me, I think it's one of the easiest to use. Very, very simple, very flexible in their free tier, which allows you to learn a lot. Hopefully you stay with create.xyz, but you could move on to bolt.new, you could move on to lovable, you could move on to a bunch of others that are emerging every day. And so what we're going to do is we are going to create a meal planner or something related to meals. So I am going to give it a little bit of context. There's two ways to do this. You can give it all the requirements of what you want in your web app, all in one prompt at one time, or you can break it up. So I do like to break it up just for quality control, just to make sure it doesn't get confused. So one of the first things I do is I put a little bit of context before giving it all the instructions of what I want. So I am going to say, I'm going to call it meal ready. So Meal Ready is a web application that generates meals and recipes from what's in your cupboard. And then what we want to do is kind of what do we want on a page. So you could just give it that and it's going to try and guess what should be there. But I'm going to say create an input box and label for what ingredients the user currently has. So we want one input box for what the user currently has, and I'm going to say create a field for things to avoid. Or allergies. And I'm going to say create a generate button. So even though I said, hey, I'm not going to try and put too many things in here, a couple components is not bad, especially since I'm not giving it any logic quite yet. All I'm saying is, hey, add a couple input fields and a generate button, and usually it does that pretty easily. I have an idea of how the UI is going to come out, which is centralized like this. So we can adjust the UI later. That's no issue. So we have meal ready, what ingredients do you have, what allergies or ingredients to avoid. And so we have it right here. And what we want to do now is say when the user clicks generate, use. So what Create has naturally is a bunch of integrations. So we can integrate it with Google Gemini, Stripe, Charts, Google Maps, There's lots of different things we can integrate it with, but we're going to use ChatGPT, and we're going to say, hey, use ChatGPT to generate the recipes. But what I'm actually going to say, use ChatGPT to generate recipe title, ingredients needed. So I want ChatGPT to generate a list of recipe titles, ingredients needed, and recipes for each meal. And I'm going to say display this on a grid of cards. So we're going to see how it manages this. I'm not quite sure what it's going to come up with. So what you can see here is working it out, it's building, and now it's finished. So I should be able to say I have bacon, I have bread, I have eggs, I have, I don't know, let's say chicken, I have curry powder, I have, I don't know, salt. Let's avoid, I don't know, milk. Hit generate. You can see it comes up with a generating. And so here we run into our first challenge. Potentially. Let's okay. So you can see the load when it's loading, it actually, this is not what I expected, but this is okay, but it's not what I expected. We can work with this. So you can see spicy chicken curry sandwich, curry bacon egg bake. I haven't heard of that before. Southwest chicken and bacon stir fry. Very basic. So it's given us what we need, and actually it gave us a little bit more because it's added time. But maybe what I want is to make a slight adjustment here. I am going to say display one recipe at a time and have a slider. Display one recipe at a time and have a slider to go to the other recipes. So I'm going to get started with this. I am going to say I have beef. Maybe I should let it finish. Okay. I'm going to say I have beef. I have chicken. I have, I don't know, salt. I have pepper. I have egg. Let me just say I have bread again. And I want to avoid peppers, mushroom, and let's just say milk. I'm going to hit generate. And I don't actually like this, so we're going to remove this. So you can see what it does. Recipe 1 of 4. Perfect. 2 of 4. Okay. So the only adjustment we might want to make now is we want to, when it's loading, I don't want it to show that preview text. I just want it to show the cards when it's ready. And so I'm going to say something along the lines of currently the JSON is displayed. And this is where I might get tripped up, or the AI might get tripped up by what I'm actually talking about. Before the cards, only display the cards once all the response has been received. So we're going to hit send, and we're going to give it one more try, or we're going to try and fix this, because this will really bug me. So I'm going to say I have eggs, pepper, mushrooms, I have, let's say, beef, and I want to avoid milk, and I want to avoid cheese. We're going to generate recipes. Okay, perfect. Generating your recipes. But now we have 2 generating, which is not terrible, but ideally we probably don't want that. Okay. So this is closer to what we want, but now let's try and remove that second generating spinner. Only display the one generating spinner on the button, and so hopefully this doesn't break it, but if it does break it, I will show you what to do, because we can actually go back to previous versions. You can see here, we can revert back to this version, or we can revert back to previous versions just by click and revert. And so it's finished. So I'm going to say I have chicken, mushroom, tofu, I have salt, and I don't want eggs. Let's just say I don't want dairy. Okay, so this is working as expected. Well, fingers crossed. Let's just wait for our result. It is taking a little bit long, but hopefully, okay. So this works just as we want it. It's generated 3 recipes. So we could hit generate recipes again. We could make adjustments. We could add a field to say how many recipes that we want to generate, between 1 and 7, between 1 and 5, or between 5 and 10. You can see it generates, and we could add more here, or prompt it to add more here. And this is how we start to create our web application without coding and only using prompting. And so what you might want to do is go ahead and hit publish, give it a name. I'm going to say meal ready. Hit publish. Now it's published, and we have our view site, just like my LLM use case generator. But we have our meal ready web application created without writing any code at all. We do actually have access to the code right here. We can embed the project, we can download the project, we can copy the code and put it somewhere else. There are a lot of really interesting features that Create has, but I'm interested to know what you are looking to build and what you do build with Create. Let me know. Feel free to reach out to me in the comment section or on social media. Happy hacking.